While you're here, if you're a healthcare worker who wants financial freedom, but lack of funding keeps stopping you, this is for you. The real problem, the number one reason why most healthcare workers never build financial freedom, is pretty simple. You guys just don't have access to capital. Because savings aren't enough, banks deny you or give you little tiny limits, your credit isn't structured properly for high limit approvals, and your LLC is set up wrong, and you just get instantly flagged. So until funding is fixed, you're stuck. No business, no passive income, no leverage. Just more shifts while opportunities pass you by. Once funding is solved, everything changes. The solution: how healthcare workers position themselves for 50 to 250K in funding in 90 days or less, even if the banks denied you before. Now, this isn't a loan. This is a system that restructures how banks see you. Why this works when everything else fails? Very simple. Banks aren't emotional. They use inputs. Approvals are predictable. Banks run on algorithms, not opinions. They see thousands of applications, so it's automated screening, so it's basically the same rules every time. Basically, we have reverse engineered those rules by focusing on credit profile, business structure, and application strategies. And I call this the three-step infinite funding system. Step 1, optimize. Step 2, apply. Step 3, invest. Now, here are some client success stories just to prove that our systems work. We've helped about 115 business owners get anywhere from 25 to upwards of 150K in funding. You guys should see below a lot of these people's videos. They've optimized their credit profiles. You can see here, everyone's, you have to go through credit repair if necessary sometimes. And so far, we've helped people get up close to about 5 million. And we've helped our clients make over 315% returns. You can see here, boom, 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 boom. So who is this guy? So I've qualified for about 330K in funding at age 34, and I launched this coaching offer. I started my credit business in 2023, invented the infinite funding method, and funded my clients, close to 5 mil. Backstory: I was a gym owner for 10 years. I had 2 locations. You see here. I did later sell that company though. Basically, my struggles: I sold my business in 2021. After that, I struggled and I failed at solar, insurance, e-commerce. I even had to fight a tax audit. And in the meantime, I drove Uber and Lyft on the side. See this here. See the tax rise thing here. Yeah, so definitely was a struggle. However, winners never quit. I invested a little over 37K to learn these systems, and this was the result. I took my credit from the 620s to 822 in over probably a year and a half, and funded myself 300K with some of these big name banks and many others. So now let's dive into how the infinite funding method works. Step 1, optimize. Step 2, apply. Step 3, invest. Step 1, optimize. Focus on personal credit inputs that banks require, signals that lenders look for, risk factors that trigger auto denials, and how fundable profiles are positioned before you even apply. Personal credit inputs banks require. Banks don't look at credit score alone. They look at payment behavior, utilization patterns, account age, mix, and recent activity signals. 2 people can have the same score and get completely different results because the inputs before the score matter more than the number. Business structure signals lenders look for. Banks validate legitimacy before funding. Structure signals include entity setup, industry classification, financial footprint, and consistency across records. Banks are deciding whether you're a real business or a statistical risk, and that decision happens honestly in seconds. Risk factors that trigger auto denials. Most denials happen before a human even sees the app. Triggers include certain account behaviors, recent account credit actions, structural mismatches, application timing mistakes. Most people don't get denied because they're unqualified. They get denied because they're unknowingly triggered a red flag. How fundable profiles are positioned before applying. Applications are the final step. Positioning happens beforehand. Fundable profiles are clean, consistent, and very predictable. By the time the application is submitted, the decision is already mostly made. That brings us to step 2, apply. Banks don't just look at who you are, they look at what other banks have already said about you. Step 2, apply. Why bank order matters, how timing impacts limits, what causes chain denials, and why random applications kill your leverage. Why bank order matters. Early approvals influence later ones. Some banks are sensitive to recent activities, others are designed to go first, so order can increase or cap limits. Same profile, different order will be completely different outcomes. How timing impacts limits. You can qualify for funding and still sabotage your limits just by applying at the wrong time. Applications too close together spike risk. Applications too far apart can stall momentum. Credit activity has decay windows. Banks reward clean, recent signals, not noise. It's like training for a race. Too much at once, you burn out. Too slow, you lose conditioning. Now, what causes chain denials? One bad application doesn't just fail, it creates a ripple effect. Denials create negative signals. Subsequent banks see increased risk. Algorithms flag instantly. Momentum flips from approval to defense. Most people aren't unqualified, they're just out of sequence. Why random applications kill your leverage. Every application sends a signal. Random applications send the wrong one. Each application changes your profile. Each inquiry affects perception. Each approval or denial will shift the leverage. Randomness looks desperate to algorithms. Funding isn't about trying harder, it's about moving cleaner. That brings us to step 3, invest. Getting capital is step 1. Keeping it working without killing future access is the real skill. Step 3, invest. You choose the path that fits your goal. It could be business ownership, passive income strategies, real estate, Airbnb, or a home healthcare business. We provide the decision frameworks, not investment advice. Like I said, this proven system has already worked for over 100 business owners. Here it goes here. You guys, like I said, their videos are down below. You can hear their testimonials. Everyone gets their credit. It needs to be perfect before we go into it. This system has already funded close to $5 million. So what's inside the system? Well, obviously, number 1 is the optimize, apply, and invest framework, our credit and funding decision logic, application sequencing rules, capital deployment principles, and it's a repeatable funding playbook. So this is the same system used to create every result that you saw earlier. How you access the system. Structured training modules, live training calls, educational templates, frameworks, checklists, decision trees for real-world scenarios. The system stays the same. The level of guidance changes. How support works. Choose your level of support. You either do it yourself, you have it done with you, or you have it done for you. Now that one's for applications only, we rarely accept people. Do it yourself, self-implementation. This is not a done-for-you service. DIY, build it yourself. Who's it for? Self-starters, disciplined executors, and people who want full control. Build it yourself, what you get plus the support type. Full access to the optimize, apply, and investment system, credit, funding, and capital frameworks, application logic and sequencing rules, capital deployment principles you can reuse forever. Support, weekly live group Zoom trainings for educational purposes, structural templates, checklists, and decision trees, community access for announcements and wins. How it works, you execute the system independently, calls are for learning, not personal case review, no direct implementation support. This option rewards discipline and self-execution. Guided implementation. Now, this is the most popular. You execute, we guide. Who's it for? People who want feedback on their execution, operators who value speed and accuracy, clients who want guidance without delegation. What do you get? The guided implementation of the optimized apply and invest system, funding readiness review plus personal from business, pass, wait, fixed grading before applications, got to make sure you do things right, sequence application strategies with decision trees, capital deployment frameworks to protect future rounds, and limited bank manager introductions when you qualify. Support included weekly live Zoom calls, priority sync reviews at key milestones, structured escalation for approvals, conditionals, and denials, community access with clear rules. How it works: you execute the actions, we review, guide, and correct course. Support is structured, not on demand. Done for you, our white glove partnership. Who's it for? High-income professionals, business owners with complex situations, clients who value speed and precision, people willing to invest for premium execution. What it gives you: end-to-end execution of the funding system, credit and funding implementation handled for you, strategic application handling and sequencing, direct bank manager coordination, capital deployment guidance to protect future rounds. How it works: we handle execution end to end. You approve key decisions. However, the qualifications are pretty strict and very limited on availability, okay? How pricing works: pricing is based on level of support. Some clients prefer a flat rate, others qualify for a performance-based structure. Final structure is determined after review. So you have two options now. Try to figure this out on your own through trial and error, or use a proven system with a level of support that fits you. Honestly, both options works, just one costs you more time, mistakes, and missed opportunities. So who is this not for? Not for people looking for shortcuts. Not for people who want someone to do everything for them. Not for people willing to execute. This is for people who want control, leverage, and repeatable access to capital. Apply to access the system. Now, we'll review your situation, determine the right level of support, and outline your next steps. This is not a sales call, it's an application to see which path makes the most sense for you. The system works, execution is a variable. Same frameworks, different level results. Results depend on your execution. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start moving with intent, just apply below.